especially with the days that are going to be coming. Okay, got it.
Yep. All right, cool. I'll go ahead and
You ready?
we will get started here. Let me go ahead and admit these last people.
Yep.
And let me go ahead and record it. Yeah. Welcome everybody to another Sunday sermon, our favorite day of the week. In this, everyone who's new, this is going to be where we go over earnings for the week, any data that's for the week. And then after that, we go on to market overview, which is SPY, all the indices, indexes. And then from there, I'll go over my watch list and top watches for the week. And we just want to get everyone prepared for the week and get you guys paid. So welcome, everybody. My name is Mr. Banks, along with, as always, the one and only No Risk, No Premium.
What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? Welcome. Today's Sunday, August. What is it? Today's date? 30th, August 30th. 2 days until month end close. So 1 day, tomorrow, Monday, will be the last day of the month. Start first day of the month, August 1. On Tuesday, guys, as always, you should always. Did I say July? Did I say July 30th? No, or did I say August 30th?
July 30th.
Today's
we
July
have 31st
30th.
Monday, and then
31st Monday, August 1st, Tuesday. Did I fuck that up? Anyway, you guys know what I meant. So first thing you should always do, guys, head over to U.S. economic calendar. You want to take a peek at what's going on this week. Luckily, as far as economic data is concerned this week, like Justin was just saying, no FOMC, no Powell, no Fed speakers. For now, they could hop in. That's why we check it every single day. But for now, we're not going to see that. The really only data I think we need to be concerned with is going to be the pre-market data coming in on Thursday and pre-market data on Friday. Nonetheless, though, we do have some data pre-market tomorrow. That is 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Chicago Business Barometer. Fed loan survey is at 2 p.m. that it will be during the market open. On to Tuesday's data. We do have all the data comes out after market open. So 15 to 30 minutes after market opens. So this could be a day to wait just a little bit if you're like to be an early striker. Just know that some of this ISM manufacturing construction spending, the PMI comes out. It could alter some shorter dated positions. Then Wednesday, pretty much a nothing burger, the ADP employment numbers. Not heavily sought after with ADP. No one really cares, in my opinion. More so, they're going to look at the jobless claims, which is Thursday, August 3rd. That's an hour before market open. So in the pre-market, we will have some data here. And then the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate will be Friday. Those are the 2 days I think we have the most important economic data coming out. Now, as far as, I wanted to go here. Yep. As far as data coming out this week, we do have also earnings. You want to pay attention to earnings, which companies are earning. Since we play the S&P 500, QQQ a lot, we play a lot of the Apples, Amazon, Googles, Microsoft, et cetera. You guys understand? So it's pretty important to know when those stocks are going to be reporting. Well, Amazon, you can see August 3rd. That is Wednesday. Apple, August 3rd, Wednesday. NVIDIA already went. AMD, August 1, Tuesday. And August 3rd is actually Thursday, isn't it? Sorry, guys. I'm just messing it up. Let me start over. August 3rd, Amazon, Thursday. August 3rd, Apple, Thursday. AMD, August 1st is on Tuesday. That's what I meant to say. SoFi will be Monday. Palantir, August 7th. PayPal comes out on the 2nd. Shopify on the 2nd. Walt Disney is going to be, the week after, which is the 9th. Wait, the 9th? How is that impossible? August 9th. Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry, next Wednesday. Baba, August 10th. Rivian next week, August 8th, but Norwegian. So look, we have 1, 2, 3 huge, right? Amazon, Apple, and AMD, huge this week. I mean, PayPal's big. I mean, Shopify's big. These are names that we play, but they're not really heavily weighted on any of the cash ETFs or futures contracts that we trade. So knowing we have Apple and Amazon, right? Apple's the largest weighted. I think Amazon's the third or fourth largest weighted on SPY. They're both top 5 weighted on QQQ as well. So don't you think those will definitely be heavily sought after and awaited and anticipated earnings reports? Absolutely, they will. So you'll want to be paying attention there. Note those premiums on those contracts will likely get heavily inflated before any big news or earnings release is going to have huge anticipation for it. The implied volatility will go up, i.e., the premium on all the contracts will likely go up. The better strategy we like to play is play those tickers the day after the earnings, let the volatility come down. It'll crush all the IV. You get to buy it at more of a discount, more of a favorable price, and then you'll have a better understanding of the direction of the stock after the reaction. We could see what they did to it overnight and in the after hours of pre-market. Okay, so like we said, Amazon and Apple on Thursday, AMD on Tuesday. AMD will definitely be my high watch going into Wednesday, 100%. We got the AM Daddy in the house, Justin, so he'll know where to take us from there. But I do think if there's any dip on AMD, you will be able to buy. I would like to be able to buy any dip on AMD with that earnings report. I'm more than likely, just with how the NVIDIA and all the AI craze is going, more than likely the demand for AMD. I'm not telling you to go buy it right now. I don't think it's going to be hurting. With what we've seen AMD do, or we've seen NVIDIA do, we'll see AMD likely do very similar things with just demand for chips, because chips have to program AI. Pretty simple. But Apple and Amazon, let's see where that will pretty much tell us where the market's going to go for the next 3 months or so with how they react to these earnings, because they lead the markets. Now, onto the charts, guys. If you're new here, just so you know, I pretty much go over 3 different ETFs and 1 futures contract. I might be adding 1 more. I go over ESF, which is the S&P 500 futures. We go over the cash ETF, which is SPY of the S&P 500. Then we do QQQ, which is the NQ, which is the cash ETF of the NQ, the NASDAQ. And we do IWM. Okay, I will likely be adding in the NQ futures. Now, I don't know if I'll be trading it quite yet, but I will be adding in the level, so it'll be good if you like to watch either ESF or NASDAQ. I think I'm gonna be adding that in. So, nonetheless, guys, let's get it started off here. Really quickly, what do we see? Really, I mean. This looks like just some balancing, right? We are still balancing in here, right? Very easy to see. So we really want to see this break above 46.25 to 46.35. I need a break above that level for continuation. Do we balance out a little bit more into those huge tech earnings of Apple and Amazon? Because if Apple and Amazon continue to go sideways, like we always say, if Amazon's or Apple's really strong, it's hard for SPY to be down. Or if Apple's down, it's hard for SPY to be up. Why? It's the largest weighted stock. So if we know we have those earnings coming out, we could see some sideways movement. We could easily balance out here a little bit more. So my game plan would be look to long this level from 45.40 all the way up to 45.60. Right? Any touch we've had down here goes up. Any touch we've had down here goes up. So I need the touches down here and the bounces I like. Okay, but I need a break and hold, right? Break and hold above 46.30. 46.30 1 hour candle close above 46.30 would more than likely show on some smaller time frames. We've either had a break of it and hold, or a break and back test and hold to make a higher low. Target 46.55 all the way up here to 46.70. See, I have a little bit of a range on here because there's major supply levels back there. You got to go way back though, and I don't want to zoom all the way out right now, but just notice these are highlighted for a reason. So no, we just keep on breaking through, but the longer you can base, the more of a base you build, the more of the consolidation, the balance you build. When you break to either the upside or the downside, it will show there will be continuation. So we could easily take out these levels above, go all the way back to about 4,700, 46.95 above here. So looking to long this areas down here, 45.40 all the way to 45.60. I can look for the reject at 46.21 to 46.31. But if you break and hold this 46.35, baby, it's gone and off to the races. Do not step in front of the freight train. Just take the trend and get to skipping to the upside. SPY chart here, guys, going to look pretty similar to the ES chart, right? Whoa. As you can see, building out this balance, right? You can all see this balance in here. Just building out this balance area. You know, we dipped above it a little bit, dipped above it, but ultimately we came back down, and it's touches down here. We had what do we have? FOMC, right? FOMC. We had the Thursday sell-off, bounce back Friday. I think this was the meta after hours on Thursday brought us up. It was something like that for Friday. Look, rates are high. Inflation, core inflation's bad. They're running off the balance sheet, yada, yada, yada. Bad, 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 bad. Everybody wants the market to go down. Just because you market to go down doesn't mean it's going to go down. Do not get caught up with inflation, rates, this, that. Obviously, the market has told you since it made lows that it does not give a fuck about the external factors of the market. It just, if it's by the dip, it's by the dip. You play the chart, not your heart. So the chart is telling me you buy 452. Would you guys agree with that? 1 dip, 2 dip, 3 dip. Yep. Buy up every single time. So buy. And if you don't buy there, you can buy at 450. If you don't buy at 450, you can buy 448. Until 448 goes, I'm not really looking to play the short-sided trade. Right? I'm not really looking to play the short-sided trade because the trend has been up so much. So I'd be looking to take the bounces. So 452, you can watch the bounce. But really, we have to watch this level here. 455. 455, got to watch 455. You can kind of use that as almost like your midpoint between the low part of the balance and the top of the balance, because every time we've gotten through, we've held above it. But once we've gotten below it, we've kind of rejected until we got above it. Then we went up and tested the top, right? Then we skipped through it, right? And then we got back above it and tested the highs. So you can use that as a little bit of like a midpoint area to see. But I like to see 455 hold. Okay, 455. If that doesn't hold, I'm looking at 452, 450, 50, 448, 50. If you do want to short underneath 448, 50, this could go 4 points to the downside. There's this huge gap on the daily. Huge gap on the daily. Watch this 443 to 445 bounce zone in there. If we do want to get booting, scooting, tooting up to the upside, guys, break and hold, call it 460 even. 460 even takes you to 462. Takes you to 462. What's going on with the NASDAQ QQQ? Still jealous as fuck as whoever this buyer was down here, whoever lucked out, probably sleeping with the market maker's wife. So you owed him one. I don't know, something like that. But look at that. If you were to buy down here and you're up 20 points, what a 30 points. What a lucky little bastard. Anyway, as we can see here, right? Same type of balance area kind of working in here. Once we got above 374, just balance out, came down, touched it. Now going back to the highs, right? So above 384, call it 384.50. Above 384.50, watch 388, 389.50, 390, and then 393 above there, right? We need to see this 384.50 go, though. 384.50. Buying any dips into 374.75, all the way down even into 372. I like dips into there. Underneath 372, though, you can watch. I think there's a short trade there. We could easily come back down all the way down to 370 to 372 if we get under 374. So you have a couple points to the downside, but still, I'm not a huge fan, right? Oh, I'm not a huge fan because look at all these dip buys, I would just wait. That's where you have more high probability of taking the dip versus maybe being caught in a quick liquidity grab where they break it below a zone just to grab some liquidity and jump it back up. You could easily get caught on that downside. I'd rather just wait. The trend is up. Don't fight the trend. Play the trend. Okay. Looking for dips. First dip zone, 378. I'm sorry, 380. 378, 374, 75. I like 375, much higher probability. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just balancing, right? Now we tested this low time a couple times. Now we're testing this higher area. As you can see, this 384, just like SPY had that little blimp above that balance kind of was, right? This is like a little blip above the balance, little fake breakout. Okay, bring it back down, balance here, balance here. So this balance area is a little bit tighter, right? So above this 384, 384.50, watch 389 to 390, 393 above there. Anything underneath 380 could easily rotate back down to this 375 area where you could take the bounce in there. QQQ, that's it for QQQ. IWN, last one for me, then we'll get on to Justin, which I know you guys are all secretly waiting for. But Appreciate you guys being good sports and keeping it real with me. Look at here. IWM, redheaded stepchild of the market. Let's zoom out just a tad here. As we can remember, we had one balance zone in here, right? Now it seems like we're just cooking up another little balance zone in here, right? Even this was a tiny little balance zone. Okay, so huge balance area. Get up, balance. Now we're balancing again, right? We don't want to get underneath this 183, 193.50. Remember, I was screaming it all last week. If you go look at the game plans for last week, we said 193.50 has to hold. 193.50 has to hold, and it has, right? You got multiple tops here. Nice demand. I mean, this is demand. You guys want to know a 1 hour demand? That's not retail buying this up. That takes big boy, big balls, big money to take that thing up higher right here, right? That is huge buying. So anytime there's dips, those same buyers are likely buying more, right? They are absolutely giving more buying power into holding this level. So now we can see here, we want 193.50 to hold. Even if 193.50 doesn't hold though, this is 191, 192. This area I'd likely be looking for a bounce, but I think 193 would hold. I likely think the market's going to continue on up above 199. This is 189.50. Call it 199. Target 200 even, but above there, 202 is really the next big level here on the IWM. Above there, 205. 205. Yep, 205. So if you guys look, right, let's just show. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. Okay. Look at this base. Like, imagine these guys. How long this was 3 months of buying. 3 months of buying. Skywatcher said accumulating, absolutely accumulating. They're just buying every dip up in here. So then you have the break out of it, the retest, break higher, come down and retest, higher low, rip up. So you had your own little balance in here, right? They made a new balance zone on top of the old balance zone. Ripped up higher, small balance. I wouldn't really call this too much of a balance. Maybe just some dip buying happening in here, right? Maybe a little bit more of it was more pullbacks happening there, right? So now you've got this longer, since we've been in this little range now for what? Since last week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, almost 2 weeks now. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see if we see this 199 area. This is going to be a big level. I don't even know if we can zoom out even farther because, yeah, you see the Russell. Now this is even a larger balance area, right? Look how long it's been in here. You guys see? Now you can see the larger time frame. Look how much balance has been in here, right? So you can see how big this 204 area is going to be up here. That's why I say anything over 200, likely 202, 204 is going to be areas you want to watch. After that, 202 is this big area here, then 204. You guys see these two areas back here, right? 202, then take it to 204. I have to remove that first. Aha. All right, guys. So really quickly, if you missed it, 193.50, 193.50, 193.50, 193.50 has to hold, break and hold 189.50 area, target 200, 202, 204. From there, when does Paul give his sentiment? Oh, Paul's just in the chat. That said Powell. I'm like, Powell's not on this week. All right, guys, that's it for me. Justin, what do you got, brother?
What is going on? Let me see.
Will, yes, sir. Coach Fears says when you draw those big zones like that, it makes it easier to see. It does, but what is that? What am I ultimately doing here, guys? Justin, I'm sorry not to cut you off. What am I doing here? I'm just zooming out, right? All I did was zoom out. Now I'm back here in October 21. I could see everything. Now you're kind of going, oh, well, you know, this looks interesting. Look, look at this whole area. Yeah, no wonder we'd probably go test the top of this big old balance, right? Because touch down, touch, right? Makes it a little bit easier. See, that's what we always say, guys. Zoom out, look left, always understand. Last time the market was in this area, what happened? What happened at the battle here? right? Because it's really easy to see the battle here, right? We'll call it, we could go like this. More sellers than buyers. Sellers won the battle. More buyers than sellers. Buyer won the battle. Sellers won the battle. Buyers won the battle. Sellers won. Buyers won. Sellers won. Buyers won. You know, are sellers going to win? Do we keep going up here a little bit more? Maybe they win up. Maybe the sellers went up here. I don't know. Right? There you go. There you have it. Anyway, on to you, Justin. There you go, brother.
Awesome. What's up, guys? We'll go ahead and share my screen with you. We'll go ahead and get started. First one on the list is going to be Boeing. Massive bullish engulfing here on the weekly, guys. You can see here looking at the bigger picture, right? We're breaking out of a 6-month accumulation here, kind of how Norris was just talking about, right? A balance zone. You guys can see it. Big balance zone, massive breakout here.
Wow,
So going,
that.
yeah,
Jeez.
huge.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. That's
on the weekly. So that's gonna be on the weekly coming into.
Wow.
Yeah, massive breakout. So more than likely, we're going to get some continuation, right? That's what I'm going to be looking at coming into this week. So when we're looking at this, I am looking at a 240 break. We can go ahead and look at the 1 hour too. Just wanted to give you guys the bigger picture. But the 1 hour, you can see we're also kind of flagging out here. 240, massive level. We could go take a look back on the daily here. 240. It's on every single time frame. You guys can see it clear as day. We can even go to the weekly. Right, here is our 240 level. Looking at this chart, where do you think we're headed? Probably more than likely, we could see 280, right? We could see 280, but in the medium term, I'm thinking 250. So let me go ahead and get down to the time frame.
I mean, I think if you're lucky, you would likely to get a dip buy at 228 or whatever the top of that balance was. I think that would be luck.
Absolutely.
That'd be luck if you could get that. I would be a buyer down there, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just with how strong they were after the earnings. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think this week we're looking for a breakout. Got to stay patient for it. But if we get a break of that 240, I am looking around 242 as my PT, 245, 248.50, and then 250. Nice little psychological number. But as you guys can see, there's definitely room all the way up to run to 270, top 280 here. But I think in the medium term, 250 is definitely not too far and very possible that we get a retest here. Going back to the 1 hour, the 1 hour will give you a better back test level here. So yeah, absolutely. You get 235, 236 down to 233 back test would be beautiful. You can also look around 237.50. You can look at 237.50. Kind of makes sense, right? I mean, if we're looking, what would be a back test? We kind of back tested here, but 237.50 would be beautiful to take a bounce for a breakout. And then obviously you can come down here if we decide to get weak to fill this imbalance around 235.50, 236 down to 233 for that nice little bounce. Would be beautiful if we can get it. So 237.50 down to 235.50, 236, 233. But again, I need a break and hold of this beautiful 240 right here. 240, I think we can go see. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, beautiful chart. I mean, 6-month accumulation, right? So if we're looking at this on the grand scheme, on the bigger picture, right? That means we have buyers accumulating for 6 months for a huge breakout. Now, do you think we're just going to just completely sell back off? I highly doubt it. If we got it back, if we had a back test at 223, that'd be insane. But if not, right, breakout of that 240, definitely looking for 242, 245, 248.50, and 250 as my medium term. But as you guys can see on this chart, we could see up to 280, 270. I mean, this chart is absolutely beautiful for the breakout. You could see, we could see all the way up to here. So this is definitely top of my watch this week is BA, right? Is BA. Next on the list is going to be JD. China names absolutely catching my attention. You know, always got to look at the bigger time frame. Looking at the bigger time frame, what is happening? Well, we caught into this, we back tested into this beautiful demand, right? Breakout, back test. So you guys can see that, right? Here we go. It's essentially, here's the breakout all the way up to 108. And then we back tested it, right? Breakout right here, back test, found it as support, breaking back up. This is what stocks do, guys. over and over and over and over again is they break out and retest. So now let's go ahead and look. We could see that we had a massive, beautiful Friday. Let me go to the daily. All right, looking at the daily, kind of looking like a head and shoulders, possibly a little ugly, but still head and shoulders right here. Very possible head and shoulders breakout, but we do have this nice neckline here that we're all the way back into. And what's nice about this is if we go, is the weekly showing it? Kind of a bullish engulfing, but yeah, the weekly showing very massive strength back into this neckline. On the weekly, if we were to break out, nothing but room to 43.50 up to 45 here, right? Nothing but room. And we do have, I mean, this would take time to get up there, but we do have this gap fill all the way up into 51 area, right? So 48, 49, essentially. Do we get that back test on this breakout up to 49? This is a lagging China stock, and I think this would be good for a swing that we could take. I mean, jumping from the weekly to the daily, huge engulfing. Just need to really break this 41 level. So if we break 41, I will be looking for 42, 44, and then we have this 45 area. So 42, 44, 45 area. And obviously we have also room up to that 51 area. We saw that gap fill, right? That I just talked about around 50, 51 that we could eventually reach. But this one is definitely looking like it's primed to at least see some upside action. Now we could look for a back test around 39.50, essentially 40 to 39.50. 40 to 39.50 would be absolutely beautiful. Could look around 40.50, but I think from 40 to around 39, all the way down to 38. For whatever reason, if we do decide to get super weak for whatever reason, we do have this gap fill down to essentially 38. So just keep that in mind. If we decide to get super weak, would definitely be beautiful to take a long swing there, but I think I might take a swing stab to go reach these higher levels that I just talked about. So JD, second one on the list, I think is absolutely beautiful for this week. Roku, what can I say? Positive earnings, insane candle, massive bullish engulfing, nice rounded bottom. I mean, we were pushing up. This thing used to be what, almost $500. We're sitting at, we're sitting at, the weekly doesn't show that, at 91, 92. Nothing but room to go up. I think Roku is sticking around. They showed good earnings, so that's good. Even when everything is inflated, people don't have the money to buy things. So Roku's still absolutely killing it. Roku is kind of on a cheaper side. I know they make higher end models as well, but I mean, you could see Roku TVs in it everywhere, right? They're pretty much everywhere. I think they're definitely making their name in the industry. So if we go ahead and break this high, obviously 91.50, we can break this 91.50. I think that we have nothing but room into 98, 101.50, and 105. We have nothing but room into 98, 101.50, and 105 to the upside here on Roku. So definitely another one, especially with that strength, that we could see some continuation next week. Now, do we get some sell-off because of how heavy it is? If we do, I'm definitely looking at this demand level would be perfect for a back test, 86 to 84. We can see here, we kind of sat in there for a nice little demand. So if we do get a nice little sell, some profit taking back into this demand area, would probably feel comfortable to start a swing back up, especially with, we shot up from 95 or 75 to 92. Really didn't even sell off in this area. We kind of just held and boosted all the way back up, showing us that there is massive, massive, massive demand in Roku. So we could get a nice pullback here into 86, 84. Would definitely look to take a swing here back up. I mean, again, when we're looking at the higher time frames, something that we always need to do, we can even look at the monthly. Again, this has nothing but room up. Do we get a retest to, 200?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely looking at some long dated swings here maybe even a leap for Roku, right? Maybe even a leap for Roku, especially with how much this was bought up. Obviously, we need to look at the action that's going to happen next week. Do we get a nice pullback? Do we just get a sell-off from this?
Yeah.
If so, then maybe the strength that we saw on Friday really isn't technically there. Maybe it's just short squeezed because it was Friday. But Roku has nothing but room. We could easily see some pretty big levels to the upside. I think easily 100 from where we're at, 100, 150, 200. So Roku definitely on the list, going to be one of my top watches going into this week. Next one, Google. I always get the question, which Google are you trading? I trade the one with the L. I just like it better. I like the one with the L. I mean, monthly, massive bulls engulfing.
Holy
so
shiza.
Guys, what is a leap? Good question. Leap is something where I consider a leap 6 months. Some consider it a year, but a swing that is 6 months to a year plus out. So taking a option, long dated swing. I consider a leap to be 6 months. Some consider a year, whatever. 6 months to a year plus, long dated swing, something that you just you buy in, you forget about it, and just let it play out.
Yeah.
You could notice
it stands for like long-term, what is it? Long-term equity, asset, security. So I don't know. Long-term. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You can search it. It'll tell you long-term equity, anticipation, share or something. But basically you're buying, it's being like long, much longer, like Justin said, much longer time frame, pretty much.
And the good thing about it is you don't have to worry about that decay as much because, right, you're buying 6 months, a year out.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about the small little pullbacks in between, which is really great about them. You just sit long-term equity, anticipation securities. There you go. Perfect. Thank you, East to West.
Yes, there you go. That's got it from the market maker. Yeah. I'm asking about those QQQ shares at fucking 355. So
so guys, one thing that you could see on my list and the things that I'm playing or watching this week, we have pretty much bullish engulfings on every single stock that I've mentioned so far. It's the ones that are on my list. Why? Because it's showing us that these have the best strength. And what's great about these that have the bullish engulfing is more than likely we see continuation. So getting a swing on a pullback or just a nice breakout from them. It's showing us that there's demand there, there's buyers there, there's strength there. People want to run it up. So getting pullbacks and or a breakouts on them are giving us the highest probability, the A+ setups. And that's why these are hitting my list for this week. I know you guys, another question I get asked a lot, well, how do you find them? Well, for this week specifically, I'm finding stocks that massive bullish engulfings that had huge relative strength compared to the market last week and look prime for A+, either a nice bounce pullback on a little profit taking, and then we could swing them up, or just a flat out breakout type of trade. Looking at this, what has happened with a lot of tech names, right? A lot of tech names are now creating new highs. Google isn't going anywhere. Google's a great company. Yes, Leaps, you buy whatever you think is going to be in the money.
By that time.
So if you're buying a year from now in Google, do you think it's possible that it can be at 160? Absolutely. A year from now, Google can easily see 160. So you just look at where would I think this stock could be at 6 months from now or a year from now? What would be good as my strike, right? Price point. Do you think Google could be 160 a year from now? Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, even 180 could be in the realms of possibilities.
Yeah. Obviously, guys, when you're buying a lot of time on these contracts, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the premium is built into these so that's not like you're going to be buying, it's not like 50-cent leaps. These are going to be much more expensive leaps, right? Like buy
on the blue chips, at least.
At least on the blue chips. Yeah. You could buy obviously cheaper when the stock is a lot less expensive, you know.
Like CCL,
like
SoFi,
CCL,
stuff like that. Yeah. Fubo.
Like anything under $20, it's gonna the asset pricing of the contracts will be reflected. But a stock that's $100 and whatever dollars or $200, $300, any leaps. The further out you get, obviously you pay bigger premium for more time, right? For more time. So just remember that it's gonna be a little more expensive. It's like it's like in your long-term account, you invest more into a long-term asset than you do into like trading. Does that make sense? Think about it as you're buying and holding this for a while. Like ultimately, you want to hold it for longer than a year, because if you hold anything longer than a year, you go from short-term capital gains to long-term capital gains. So you literally take your capital gains tax down to 20% max if you hold the asset longer than a year and sell it. For whatever profit you get, you'll max tax you'll pay is 20%. That's the whole.
And the one thing I will say about leaps, especially holding it for a year, and they are, obviously, like we just talked about, they are going to be a little bit more expensive, right? Especially for these blue chip stocks. But you got to also look at it this way. Okay, if I'm going to invest into something like Google for my, IRA or long-term holds, right? I mean, if you have the money, you're probably investing $2,000 to $10,000 anyways into shares. So if you're going to do that, then why not buy a leap for, at least one contract for a leap and just sit and hold it? Just so it's just some things to think about. It's all relative.
Yeah.
But anyways, for this week on Google, I'm looking for a break and hold of 133.75. We kind of been balancing out some themes, right? So when we're looking at these balancings, one thing that we could look at is either we break out to the upside or we break out to the downside. It's similar to essentially like an orb style trading. First 30 minutes, you wait for the high and the low, and then it's whichever way it breaks out, you take that trade. Similar to these, right? Looking at 133.75 for a breakout. If we do get that, I am looking at 136.50, 136.50, and then 139 to 140 here. You guys see this tiny little gap fill here.
In there. Yeah.
To 140. So if we do break out, I'm definitely looking at 136.50 up here. Could see we had some, right? Kind of some little balancing before we kind of sold off. You see right now we're sitting at filling the gap. So filling this imbalance up, I like this 136.50 and then 139 up to 140 for that fill. And again, if we're taking a look at a lot of these tech names, a lot of these blue chips, like Apple, everything's like reaching new highs. So Google is kind of lagging there. Google definitely looking like a setup that, potentially we're going to start to see a new high on Google.
Or a revisit of the highs.
Revisit at least. Yeah.
Yeah. At minimum.
If we do get a pullback though, I am definitely slamming a swing trade on this 129 down to 127.
Yep.
129 down to 127. You guys can see here's the 129, 127 level. You can see these are pretty massive. So for whatever reason, if we do get a sell-off here, I'm definitely going to slam some calls, especially if we get down to 127, slamming some calls there for a swing. But right now, it's definitely looking like more so a breakout style trade for this week.
Yep.
Lee, right? Lee, Neo, right?
Ooh.
We could see that all of these, let's go to dailies on here, right? All these China names, Lee, Neo, XPEV, right? All these China EV names are just absolutely going insane. Massive strength. I mean, what's great about Neo, for those that know, we literally caught Neo down here. So we just been riding this all the way up. But other than that, Lee this week, I like this.
Neo, man. Jeez.
Yeah, Neo's going nuts.
Wow.
What I like about Lee is, take a look, we're reaching all-time highs, right? Reaching all-time highs. So does this go revisit it and break out to a new high? I mean, very likely, right? It's very possible.
Yeah.
Has massive strength. We just broke out over this on the daily, right? This recent resistance around 41.63, which gave us down to a new low. And now we broke out of it, right? So this is showing us that we have some massive strength. I mean, yeah, here's the weekly. And, you can see this dotted line is where we're at, right? This dotted line is where we're at. So we're breaking out of some pretty massive resistances. More than likely, does this go make a new high? Very possible. So this is why this one's hitting my list this week, guys.
These are cheaper contracts too. Cheaper.
Absolutely. These are cheaper contracts. Yeah. Absolutely cheaper contracts. So on this one, I am looking for a bounce if we do get around 41.50 down to 40. 41.50 down to 40 here. We do have a gap fill down at 39. If we do get it, great. I'll be looking for a bounce there. Absolutely. If we do get it, but I need a break and hold of this 43. Break and hold of 43. We can easily go see, I don't really have the lines drawn, but we can easily go see these new highs here, right? These new highs. I would look for 45 and then round 47, obviously this high right here, and then 50 up here. So 45, you could say 47, 60, and then 50 up here to those new highs. So absolutely massive. Do we get a pullback? If we do, looking around about 41.50 down to 40 would be nice for a nice, if we do make a nice little bull flag here, would be nice bull flag and then zoom up to new highs. So either a breakout or a nice pullback here on Lee this week. Next one on the list is going to be Disney. Honestly, Disney's just kind of being pretty annoying. Haunted Mansion just came out this weekend, did horrible at the box office. They're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money. They went woke and they're going broke, right?
Whoopsie.
So yeah, Disney's just kind of one of those. Do I think Disney's going to go anywhere? No, I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Hopefully they can get their heads out of the gutters and, just make good cartoons and make things for kids, not be political about it. Right. So hopefully they can just get things turned around, get people back in the parks, get something cheaper. Right now, it's super expensive for any family to go to Disney. So hopefully they can, just kind of turn things around and just, get their act together. Definitely looking like we can get a turnaround soon, though. Definitely looking like we could get a turnaround soon.
I mean, it's getting tight. It's getting very tight. Yeah.
It's not really going down, but it's not really going up, right? We bounced up and we kind of sold off, but we're still holding. We look at the weekly, right? We're still in this demand down to 81. So, down below 81 would not be good for Disney. But this 81, definitely the COVID crash. We're getting down there. So we're in this demand, right? So we're looking at the bigger picture. Yes, it is looking weak, kind of selling off, but we also are entering into a demand zone from around 88. You could say 89 down to 81 here, right? And you could say technically 80 would be, kind of the low there. So we are entering demand, but looking at levels for the week, if we do trade it intraday, looking for a break and hold of this 89, you could say 86, 90, 86, 90, 87. Break and hold, I would go see 87, 50, around 88. So if you break and hold this 86.90, I would see 87.50 and then 88 to the upside, and then all the way up to 89. So if we do hold this, could see some upside here. We'll be looking for a break and hold below 85. Break and hold below 85 would be 84, and then down to 81.80. But we looking like we kind of are trying to put in a base. One thing to keep
it looks like it just looks like it's their buyers are starting to accumulate down there because they've had a few chances to sell it off and they haven't yet. So
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely watching that 84 to 85 level for sure.
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about here is, we have this demand, or at least a support here, massive sell-off here. But what happened? We bear flagged out, but then we kind of just made a double bottom here.
Yeah.
So definitely looking like there are buyers stepping up here to try to hold this price.
We went inside day, outside day, inside day. So, let's see. They do have earnings. Hold on, 8-9. So the week after the following. Yeah. Yes.
So those are my levels for the daily, but again, we are in a swing. So just keep these levels in mind. I have some bonus for you guys this week. So congratulations. Ooh. UPST, massive short squeeze, right? Super shorted. I think it's close to 40% right now. I think it's close to 40%. What's great about this stock is, let me go to the 1 hour. 67.55. 67.55. So do we break and hold this? If we do, let's look now at the bigger time frames, right? We could see that we tried to come down, retested it, broke out again. I mean, do you guys see this breakout, retest. I mean, this happens over and over again. Let's take a look to the left though.
Giving me Carvana vibes.
It is.
Yep.
So, you know, at 60 or at 60, sorry, 67.55. If we do break out of it, because it's a daily, so it's not showing you the after hours price. So that's why it's at 65.60, not 67.55, but it is at 67.55. If we break out of it, we have this massive imbalance, nothing but room to 71. Nothing but room to 71 and then 75. And if it absolutely squeezes crazy, I mean, we could see upwards to 90 here, 80, 85, 90, right? But if we do break out of the 67.55 level, we have nothing but room to 71, right? Huge imbalance on the daily. There's no level stopping us. Massive room to 71 to 75. So I might take a small swing stab on this, especially with how much it is shorted this, how much it is shorted, right? We have nothing room 71, 75. So bonus there, swing for this week. Zoom, good old Kathy. I mean, to me, this is massive accumulation, consolidation. I mean, we're using Zoom. Zoom's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Was it super overvalued at 600? Yeah,
absolutely.
More than likely.
Yeah.
Is this $100 to $200 stock? Probably. So if we take a look, oh, sorry, let me go back daily. Sorry about that. Now, if we take a look on the daily, right, on the daily here, if we hold this level, right, if we hold this level, look what's happening, right? It looks like we're trying to put in higher lows here, right? Higher lows here. So it looks like we're definitely turning the page on something that is trying to get back up at least to that $100 mark. You can see here, nice and balanced here. $100 doesn't look so crazy, right? 97 up to 100, right? Doesn't look so crazy that we reached there. So if we're holding, or at least if we hold this $70 mark, we hold this 70, I probably will try a stab at another long dated swing here up to at least 80. We'll alert everyone when we get there, but this is definitely looking like another one that we'll take a long dated swing on when it comes to Zoom. Last but not least, we are already in equity here. We had this massive gap fill to fill all the way up to about 17. We take a look, 1250, right? 1250, we're kind of just sitting here on this resistance. We broke out, came down, came back up. If we break and hold this 1280 here this week, we have nothing but room up to 1375. And then after that, nothing but room up to that 16 level. So we'll be looking to possibly trade this intraday during the week this week for that gap fill. Just something, maybe a swing this week, right? A Friday's expiration and maybe holding it. If we do get a breakout, taking some good profits, and then maybe just holding the runners for a swing for that gap fill. I mean, it is looking like it definitely wants to go and run and really get into that gap fill this week. So again, we are holding commons, right? We are holding common shares, equity, but we are I'm going to look for a intraday start of a swing this week with holding some runners for at least up to a 1375 look. Last one's on the list is going to be Mara, Riot, bull flagging out, right? Bull flagging out. Do these bull flags get some momentum and we get a retest of around 20 here? I don't know, right? I don't know, but these are some things just to keep on watch this week. Mara, Riot, right? All bull flagging out. So just keep a watch on these. Will be good for just, put on the watch list just to take a look. And again, XPEV, Neo, right? So showing some massive strength this week. So another one along with Lee, right? These China EV names are hugely breaking out. So just keep these on your watch, possibly for some trades this week as well. Baba, massive. Another one on the list, right? As I said, China names are breaking out. I like JD the best this week, but Baba is another one that we can take a look. If we get a back test of around this 98 or at least 100, if 100 comes back and holds, can look to take a swing up. This one does have nothing but room up to at least, 103, 105. And then if we take a look at the larger time frames, right, definitely looks like we're putting in a big base here, kind of head and shoulders
Oh, I see
type
that
of
in
look.
shoulders for sure. Yeah.
Do we go get a retest of this 125? So this one is definitely another one that looks like it's in its infancy stage of something that's breaking out as well. So when we come, there are earnings this week, guys. What's great about earnings? Let me give you just an example. What's great about earnings this week is when earnings come out, right? I don't necessarily like to trade the actual earnings. I like to trade after. So when earnings come out and we get a massive, say this was just pre-market, right? Or this was pre-market. What's good about earnings is we can get some big moves, and the ones that have some relative strength, I like relative strength versus the weakness ones, is we can look for taking a breakout or a bounce for these earnings. So when we're looking at earnings this week, wait for if they're in pre-market, if they have massive strength in pre-market, let's look for an area to take a pullback into, or let's look for a breakout level to take. So earnings is going to be really good this week, and it gives us a lot of A+ setups to take as either a breakout or a back test type of trade, a bounce trade to take. China names are really big this week. China EV names are really big this week. And then I just showed you a bunch of different names that have some huge relative strength going into this week. So let's have a good week. Let's stay patient. I'm definitely going to stay patient. No Fed speakers this week. I know we're going to kill it. So that's all I got.
Guys, don't do anything fucking stupid. We'll see you guys bright and early, okay?